Hey guys, welcome to my conversation with your 3A 113-pound state champion from Doral Academy, Christian Vazquez. Christian, how does it sound when I say state champion Christian Vazquez?
That sounds amazing.
Yeah? Yeah,
Sounds
it's
good.
it's been a road, hasn't it?
Yes.
All right, so we're gonna get to that in a few minutes. Um, Before we get to that, though, I'm looking over your shoulder. Are those a bunch of belts, like championship
Yeah.
belts? What are those?
Yeah, it was from when I used to do jiu-jitsu a while back.
Oh, nice. So you were pretty decent in jujitsu, I guess, if you've got a bunch of belts.
Yeah, I started when I was 4 years old doing
Okay,
jiu-jitsu.
you choke a lot of people out.
Yeah. I started competing 2013, and then I stopped doing jiu-jitsu when I started wrestling in 8th grade.
Okay, do you miss it?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, I do. I look back. I always liked wrestling a lot more than jiu-jitsu because of the pace and all that. Because jiu-jitsu is like more slow and more of like technique wise and stuff. And then I've always been like I've always loved takedowns and all that. And in jiu-jitsu, you get to take down the kids, let you take them down. They
Right,
just want more ground game.
right. But how? I guess maybe the transition to wrestling was a little bit easier because of that jujitsu background.
Yeah, it definitely was. All the movements, all the scrambles, all that.
The body
Definitely
awareness, kind of knowing
everything.
where to be, and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Did you ever have any problems? You know, maybe wanting to be on your back, and then you realize in wrestling you don't want to be on your back.
In the beginning, definitely, yes.
That's cool. That's cool. So Coach DeArmas would take you your back and all the time. You thinking I'm good, but no, that you weren't actually in a good position. I
No.
got you. All right, so let's go off the mat. Is that cool?
Cool, cool.
All right. So um what's uh what's your favorite subject in school?
The history.
History. Why
I
history?
like I just like learning about the past and everything that has to do with like Civil War and like all the wars in the world. I don't know, I find it interesting.
That's cool. Is there a particular time you said Civil War? Is that the time that you like the most?
Well, I like the World War I, World War II, Civil War, um, everything has to do with like war and stuff. I started liking it last year actually.
What
One of my
what
teachers.
yeah, what was it because of the teacher or was it because of like something else?
Yeah, it wasn't like a boring class that the teacher just talks all the time. Like we would actually get into it, and like it was actually fun. Like I don't know, I actually liked it.
Very cool. All right. What about the class you don't really like?
Definitely math.
Why?
As soon as they started adding the letters, I started like struggling.
I got you. You know what? You're not the first person who's told me that.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, math seems to be one of those subjects that people either really like or they really hate.
yeah.
Um, and struggling in it, I'm sure, can make it a real challenge. Definitely. Have you ever really had a good math teacher that for that year then the math was okay?
I did my sophomore year. I was in Killian actually in my sophomore year, and my teacher, I didn't really understand him because he was like French and he was talked with a really strong accent. And I knew everything about geometry, like I was learning, like I knew everything. I was on pace, I was on track with everything. I got to Doral and everything just like I didn't understand anything. Nothing.
All right. All right. So I know that even if you weren't cutting weight this year, you had to be watching your weight a little bit, right? Were you cutting much or no?
Yeah, I was actually cutting about 12, 15 pounds a week.
Ooh, that's pretty significant.
Or
Yeah, especially at 113. So if you're cutting that and that sort of thing, what did you have to cut out that like you totally missed? Like you just had like a craving for, a food that you really
yeah.
wanted.
Well, I never actually really cut any food. I just cut the amount I eat. So like I'll still eat Chipotle, I'll still eat everything I want to eat, but in little portions. I love soda. I literally can't live without soda. I still drink it. I would drink it sometimes during practice. Like
Is that
I'm
right?
bad, yeah.
So you went the opposite way. You didn't cut out any foods. You actually just
I just
shrunk the
minimize.
amount you consumed.
Yes, and
So
then
yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
no, and then like on the weekends, I would eat everything I could, and then yeah, once it was like ready to start practicing, when the week started on Monday, that's when I would just start minimalizing it.
Wow. So what was the one thing that you like you missed the most? Like that you didn't really want to cut it. It would be the last thing you've tried to cut out
Mm,
or minimize. What was the last thing you would try to minimize? What was the thing that you were like kind of craving?
the soda.
The soda.
I would buy a soda at school, and I would drink like 3 sips of it, and then just give it to one of my friends.
Oh.
The worst.
So what soda? Was it like a Coke or is it like Mountain Dew or what was it?
Whatever they have, that's not root beer. And
You know what? I get that. I really struggled with soda as well. Well, soda was a thing that I wanted to drink as much soda as possible. All right. So um back to food. Are you a cookie person or a brownie person?
brownie.
Brownie. Okay. What flavor of ice cream are we having if we go out?
Mm, I like dulce de leche, caramel one, or chocolate or strawberry.
Chocolate or strawberry? Okay. All right. Um, let's see. Is there a favorite breakfast food?
The normal bird, 2 eggs, sausage, hash browns, and bacon,
Sausage and bacon?
everything.
Everything. Was there a food that you ate after weigh-ins? Like it was like it became the thing that you ate every single time?
Well, the eggs with the hash brown, and that's what I would eat after every weigh-in. Well, on
After every
Saturday, after the last day that you can eat whatever, I would. That's what I would eat. But I would spend almost all my weigh-ins eating Uncrustables and one Pedialyte for the day,
one Pedialyte for the day.
and Uncrustables.
How much did it suck having to weigh in 3 times?
Looked a lot. I see everybody eating. I'm like, damn. I Most kids aren't cutting weight. Some of the kids on my team, I was the only one cutting weight on my team for states, and then they're all ordering food, this and that, and I'm there just waiting for it to end.
All right, couple more things. If I gave you a time machine, would you go to the future or the past?
The future,
The future. Are we
for
gonna go
sure.
like 10 years or like 100 years?
Nah, 100 years.
100 years.
100.
What do you think you're gonna see? Like, is there something that you want to see at that particular time?
Yeah, maybe what we're gonna evolve into, like with the world and stuff. Because I'll probably live maybe not to 100. 100 years from now, I'll be 118. Probably not gonna live that long, but I'll see mostly everything. But in 100 years, I'm not gonna be here, so
You gotta
I'll
see
see.
that.
I like to see everything else.
That's cool. All right. So let's go to on the mat, and I want to ask you, how did you start wrestling? I mean, you told me the jujitsu background.
Mhm.
Um, did you start wrestling in ninth grade, or did you start before then? And how'd you get into it?
Okay, so I would go to jujitsu practice, and then I was in seventh grade summer, and I started. One of my friends actually, he went to a practice in Southwest, and he told my dad, and my dad was like, "Oh, let's go try it." Then we ended up going, tried it. I ended up liking it a lot, and then one of the Glades coach, my middle school coach, he was there, and then he recruited me. He was like, "Oh, come to my middle school, wrestle for us." And at first, I was iffy about it because I didn't really like to change schools and all that. I was like already going into eighth grade. I have all my friends. I didn't want to leave the school, and then I was like, you know what, I'll try. I'll take the chance. I went and I ended off having a pretty good season, and I ended up liking it a lot.
So, yeah, do you remember that first practice? Is like what it was like, or your first match? Do you remember your first match ever?
Yeah, I remember my first practice and match. I remember my first practice. I got confused and I got a kid in an arm bar, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing?" Like,
And you like, you better tap, you better tap.
That was just instinct. Like, I don't know.
So what about
And
that
then
first match?
my first match, I remember it was at a South Dade little tournament with all the good best kids like Daniel Machin, Luis Acevedo, Henry Amador, Tyro Robbie from Miami Beach, all those kids. I ended up taking second. I lost to Lewis by like a point or two in the like third period. And but yeah, it was definitely exciting. I didn't really know what I was doing too. It was like a week into wrestling.
Yeah. Well, that would tell you that your future was going to be pretty bright, pretty, pretty successful high school season or high school wrestler. And you were like, you walked in, and as a freshman, I know the goal is always to win a state title, but did you feel like you could win a state title as a freshman, or were you just trying to kind of get better and better and better?
I was trying to do both. I didn't even know all the rules yet. I didn't even know how to hit a tilt till sophomore year. So I would just go into the match and try to get as many takedowns as I could and try to win like that.
So you finished second as a freshman,
Yes, sir.
and you leave, Kissimmee, and in your head you are like, what's your emotion? How are you feeling after taking second? Are you happy about taking second? Like, how do you feel?
I was happy because I looked at it like I just started only a year past that in eighth grade, and not many kids that have been wrestling their whole life get to make it that far. So I was pretty happy about it. But I always wanted to take first, you know, everybody does.
Yeah, everybody does. All right. So you walk in as a sophomore, and after taking second, even though you lost to Washburn and he was returning, and there were like a lot of really good 6 pounders, 13 pounders, during that time. Um, did you feel any pressure to get back to the finals and to win it your sophomore year?
Yeah, I definitely feel like that year, last year actually, junior year and sophomore year, were my I feel like those were my top years because I had all the wrestling partners in the world, and then I would also go to another practice after that and practice with more kids and like adults at my other MMA place. So I would always go to two practices every day. I'd grind, I'd do everything. And I feel like that was like one of the best times that I had to win the states, and just didn't happen.
Yeah. So for those people who don't know, you took second as a sophomore, and then you lost to Washburn again at 113 in like overtime, right? Wasn't it in overtime? So tell me the feeling of walking out of Silver Spurs after losing 3 times in the state finals.
Well, my junior year when I lost to Washburn in the finals, I beat him 2 weeks, not 2 weeks. The tournament before going to districts, I beat him
Hmm.
that weeks prior, like 9-4, and then unfortunately I got really sick. I was in the hospital and everything. I wasn't even gonna go to regionals for or to go to
Oh,
states. Right? I was really bad, and then my coach was like, "Oh, just go take third or fourth at regionals, and you'll get better." Do this and that. Whatever. I went to regionals. I ended up taking third. And then I felt a lot better. I was in the hospital with an IV and everything, and I got up the day before that just to go.
wow. Really?
Really, yeah.
Okay. All right. So walking into this senior year, did you feel pressure to win a title?
Yes, it's my last year. I have to win it.
Yeah. And to be fair, you dominated most of the year. I mean, I know you lost once to Jeremilo, and that sort of thing, but you were winning that match, and then lost that match. You really have been the man at 113 for the entire year. You get back to the state finals, and you get a familiar face and a Dias Ortiz who you wrestled at the knockout final. How did you feel going into that match, walking out for the introductions and everything else?
I wasn't nervous. I was just playing it really smart because I didn't want to have a mess up that would cost me the match. That's why I was more like passive, but still aggressive at the same time. I just wanted to get my takedowns, hold them down. If I get a turn, I get it, hold them down. Don't let them get on top. That was my game plan the whole time. Let him get up. It planned out exactly how I wanted it. Takedown, escape. Then I got another takedown. I think it was four, and then he
Hmm.
got an. And then the last period he chose bottom, which is what I predicted. I was gonna hold him down until there was 20, 30 seconds left. Just hang in there.
There you go. Yeah, and it actually played out exactly the way you thought it would play out. Um, you get your hand raised. You're walking off the mat. What's your emotion?
Going home, my last match of high school career and a win.
Yeah. Were you relieved? Were you excited?
Both, definitely both. Relieved for sure. All the cutting weight, all that for it paid off.
All right. So what's next for Christian Vasquez?
Well, right now, I'm gonna wrestle college, and right now I'm looking to do MMA too. I had 2 fights already, and I'm looking to get my third soon.
Oh, wow. Okay. All right. So do you know where you're going to go in college yet, or have you not figured that out yet?
Not sure yet.
Not sure yet. And then MMA. All right. So we're looking, do you compete at flyweight?
Well, before I just turned 18 like 2 months ago, and I couldn't do headshots yet. But I had one kickboxing match which I could give headshots, but the MMA one I couldn't hit to the head because we are still minors. So the first one in kickboxing, I got a first round TKO, and then the second match, which was an MMA fight, I got a first round armbar.
All right, man. I can't wait. I love it. So the last question I'm asking everyone is why wrestle? Why is wrestling special to you?
Definitely, I feel, in my opinion, that it has the most dedication you need, and not everybody could go through it. You could put somebody from a different sport, bring them to wrestling, and I don't think they'll handle it like the top people can. Like to get up there, it's really hard, and the commitment to it, everything you learn everything from it, everything.
Very cool. Well, Christian, I want to say congratulations on your state title.
Thank you so much.
I
Appreciate
want
it.
I want to wish you the best of luck in college and in your MMA career. I expect to be talking with you on Instagram or Twitter or something. And when you get famous, we're gonna have to do this again at some point in time in
Of
the
course,
future. Okay.
out whenever.
All right, man. Great talking to you. I really appreciate you jumping on, man. Take care.
No problem. Bye.